still do a further breakdown on Timothy Lamont Rush because it ties in. Because now in Timothy Lamont Rush's case, we see, this is why it's good to go into all these things. In Timothy Lamont Rush's case file, because you know he's in a case with Cuffy, it says that, because Cuffy said that the feds actually flipped script because he was really there locked up with a DEA conspiracy, drug conspiracy, but they flipped script and started charging him with the death penalty and tried to implicate him in 2 murders and the gun charges and all this other shit. And they really flipped script because the case was faltering because the main source of evidence, which is the CS1, confidential source number 1, Tammy was So Tammy was the main source of information, and she was flip-flopping around. And her main affidavit, which is the main source of evidence that they had to go get the Title III warrant and affidavit orders to get the warrant to bug your phone and to go through your garbage and do all the shit that they like to do, it was predicated on the affidavit that Tammy initially signed, debriefed, whatever. Her initial thing is what they bought, and that's where y'all can find that in the Frank's hearing. Dion Cuffee Gatling's Frank's hearing. Dionne Gatling, Gatling, Frank's hearing. Boom, right? That's all the affidavit, and it show you how they got the warrants to do what they did. And after that, Cuffy's phone becomes target telephone number 1. So Tuffy says that their case is faltering because not only is she flipping on her first affidavit, she writes 2 more affidavits, doesn't sign them, and doesn't hand them in. So they're not really affidavit. There's just some piece of paper. It could be toilet paper that you write it on. It could sign it and be affidavit. So it's just some paper that you write words on. You have to sign it, swear to, and all this other stuff, notarize it, whatever you got to do to make it be an affidavit. It got to be sworn, whatever. So I'm saying. So boom. So she got these other 2 affidavits that's attesting, going against, contradicting, whatever words you want to use, the first affidavit, which is the main source of evidence of why they even got the warrants alone. So Cuffy them have a right to be protesting this shit. Like, what the fuck? The main snitch is fucking flip-flopping all around. What the fuck y'all talking about? Boom. Not only is she doing that, she's having sex with the lead investigator, Special Agent Keith Cromer, in the case for 8 to 12 months. She's having sex with him after she talking about they was platonic friends for like 7 months, supposedly 5, 6, 7 months. We just gonna put it in the range, 5, 6, 7 months. Because the one paperwork it say 5 months, another paperwork in this shit, in Timothy, it says 7. Boom. So we got that. Boom, right? So now so now going into Timothy's case file, we see that in Timothy's case file, what it's all about, that's why it's good to read everything, right? Because it might say Bail Reform Act and all this other stuff. But when you're going through his Bail Reform Act, it's also breaking down parts of the case and disclosing other parts of the information that may be sealed up in other cases, but it's maybe opened over here when you understand how cases work, because everything be locked up, some should be under seal, some should be open for us. Okay, cool. So when you go through the case file, it talks about Lorenzo going through like drug use and him being on heroin. I mean, shout out to everybody that went through everything they go through. So this is no slack at him for whatever anybody go through, bro. Come on, bro. I done been through mad shit, so drugs did mad shit in my life. Changed my life, but fuck it, nigga. Go fuck. Everybody can change, so we're not judging nobody. But whatever, it goes through his history, him absconding from, like, he don't want to go to supervision, like paroles or probations and all types of stuff like that. He getting warrants, basically, stuff like that. So they talking about his credibility, because remember, he's also trying to press for the Bail Reform Act because he's been incarcerated on his case right now at that moment for 44 months. So he's saying like, yo, bro, this is like crazy. This is uncivilized. Y'all got me in here for how long, bro? What the hell? If y'all got me on trial, then get me on trial then. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? But they like, listen, basically in a case like this with big drug conspiracies and stuff like that, you should think to be in jail for like at least 48 months. 4 years you should think before you even think about going to trial, especially when it's big cases with multiple defendants. You could, you know what I mean, depending if you get a speedy trial, so you know you got the Speedy Trial Act, so people be trying to push when you go through trials. Sometimes if you know you ready and you know the DA or whoever ain't ready, prosecutors, you might want to push for your trial to go out, because remember, the more time they get is the more time they waiting to make some witness come around and go snitch on you that they remember a witness probably said they wasn't telling on you at first. Maybe 4 years down the line, they might say, you know what, let me tell on his ass now. Or they might get some other information that pop up in the 3 years that you in jail, so that's why they got you sitting around in jail like a duck. You know what I'm saying? For this specific reason, they got you sitting down. You see what I'm saying? So it's on something like that. So boom. So also in the same paperwork with Timothy Lamont Rush, It shows that the DEA, the government, not the DA, the government, because you in court now, ain't no DA anymore. The U.S. government, we dealing with AUSA, Assistant U.S. Attorney Gravis and Assistant U.S. Attorney Drake. These are their names, and the Assistant U.S. Attorneys, and these are the type of people that you facing. You ain't facing no little people in the damn courtroom, your local courtroom. You in your local county, LA County, you in your local Rikers Island, you in New York. You talking to the big boys. The niggas Tony Soprano was running from in the backyard in back of Johnny Sack's house. Fall in the snow, bugging. Nigga running, bugging. R.I.P. James Gandolfini. But real talk. We talking about those kinds of people we dealing with here. So boom. So now, you know, because you know when you being held for so long, you can start making your case against the government or whoever to say, nah, y'all holding this shit is what y'all doing, bro. Like you trying to sue them. Like, yo, bro, what happened? Y'all got me in here. Y'all do what y'all need to do or just free me or whatever. Just let me out and I'll be going to trial or whatever y'all need to do. But get me out the can. Boom. But they like, yo, you should expect to be there for 48 months. So now also they say besides you supposed to be in there for 48 months and you can't, no parties is involved is at fault here, whether it's the government, whether it's the defendants, whether it's whatever. But also we must credit some of this time that's being taken to just the judicial system and the slowness of the judicial system. So they throwing a lot of weight on the judicial system too as well. Y'all get the lights up in the building, okay? Because I'm telling y'all straight paperwork out my mind, okay? I'm not capping to you. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know, and I'm telling you what's in the paper. You watch a bunch of people online that's talking to you, telling this one is that, and they both are snitches, and you over there liking them. So drop a like here before I end my damn live. Straight up. I ain't playing with y'all. When you're around me, you're under damn duress. Straight, son. You will develop Stockholm syndrome around me, bruh. Trust me. I'm not playing with none of you. Okay? What I want from you, you will give me. Just like anything else in life. What you want, you will take it. Okay? Period. So it ain't no fair exchange, ain't no robbery. I ain't hiding it. I'm going to take it from you. I'm taking it. I'm telling you this. So don't lie. Don't lie on me and say, Uda stole something from you. I want my like and drop it. Period. If you want to leave, bye. You wasn't no good anyway. You was a hater anyway. I don't care. I'm not doing this for no clout. Thank you. So boom. So now in the case, besides them saying like, yo, the judicial system and all that, they saying, look, man, also the slowness is this. We have also discovered, and we're into a new investigation that we're trying to bump up charges on 2 of the defendants and their death eligible penalty charges. And the charges that we're bringing them on is on 1, Cuffee Gatling, and 2, Andre Rush. You feel me? And they're doing it to Andre Rush. Andre, or what do you want to call him? Andre Rush. They bumping up that, so they like, yo, we still doing an investigation on this, and we trying to bump up the charges on these 2 of the defendants. So, but when it comes to Timothy Lamont Rush, we don't believe that, you know, he had an involvement in the murder of his co-conspirator Morgan. We don't believe that. We don't believe that his role was no much further than that of a driver in this DEA in a reverse sting for network force. Let me tell you the word slow. Let me take my time because the paperwork say. I got to tell you how the paperwork say. Timothy Rush was the driver in a reverse DEA sting that involved Sham Narcotics. So obviously there's some fake work, and we obviously know a DEA sting is when you got the work and they come in to sting you and say, freeze, nigga, we got you. You had it, right? That's a sting. So this is a reverse sting. So obviously this is an undercover they talk about it because they got this person labeled as a UC. Yes, a UC, undercover agent. So this undercover agent is trying to obviously sell them some work. Sell him some work. Remember, Timothy is the driver in this situation. So obviously Cuffy's probably involved in this. Whoever's involved, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, at first, we know at this moment, we know Timothy's involved. So I didn't go to Cuffy. I didn't go to nobody. So I'm just saying, he's in this case with all of them. I'm just saying, I don't know. We're just getting into it. All right? Cool. So he's the driver in a reverse sting. So we understand that the reverse sting is going to be like, Maybe the undercovers is the one with the work, and maybe they going to buy the work from him, or maybe some shit like's going on, and maybe they giving the officer some fake work. But why would they be giving them fake work? So I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's just how the paperwork reads. So I'm just telling you how the paperwork reads. Feel me? Cool. So now it says. And I tell you that they bumped up the charges. I told you that they said that he felt no more than the driver of the Sham Narcotics. They went into some of that boom, 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 boom. What else from Rush's case? They was tying Gatling in. They also mentioned something about how they was trying to get him from the 80s. They were trying to implicate. Did they say that in this case, or did they say that in the other paperwork? No, I think they said that in this case. Yeah, they said that in this paperwork. That how they flipped it on Gatling, and that all of this stemmed from Tammy though, bro. So Tammy got him caught up into even the next shit. So when Cuffy is saying, yo, they flipped the script on me and then made me lock and try to get me on the death penalty shit, and then I end up having to cop plea because one of my co-defendants' statements got me jammed up. So one of his co-defendants probably said some shit like, yo, we had guns. Just some simple dumb shit. It wasn't no like he big snitched on nobody. I don't know. If Cuffy said nigga snitched on me, ratted, then he could tell me. But I don't know. I'm just speculating both sides. I'm not saying that person, his co-defendant, is a whole rat. So y'all might take that and say his co-defendant is a rat, right? I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say his co-defendant, because Cuffy didn't say his co-defendant was a whole rat. He didn't say that. He said he got caught up on some of his co-defendant's statements. So the nigga could have talked too much, bro. And sometimes we do that when we get in the building, bro. We just talk too much, bro. You get around a girl sometimes, talk too much, nigga. Get around certain people, talk too much, bro. Sometimes we do that, bro. We all guilty of it sometimes. Hopefully you're not guilty of it when you're in court, or when you're in a fucking, in the holding cells, or when you're in a fucking interrogation room. Hopefully you're not guilty of that. You just shut up. Because everything you use will be used, everything you say will be used against you. Right? So boom. So I went into the Timothy, right? Timothy Laurent Rush, boom.